What is your name? Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Kumar. My name is Jennifer Kumar, and I'm from Authentic Journeys here in this series on small talk questions. Asking somebody what their name is a common question in the U.S. when you're just getting to know someone. You're meeting them for the first time. But this question can be confusing as a listener of American English if you're not used to the accent. So what is your name? I've said all four words. What is your name? Or should I go backwards? You're reading from this way, I guess. What is your name? But nobody actually says it like that. You'll either hear what's your name, which is WHAT''S, what's your name, or what's your name, or was your name. So generally in English, especially American English, when a word ends in an S sound like what's, and the next word starts with a Y, like ya, it becomes a ch or a zh, depending on the area of the country you're in, or the person's personal speaking style. So where I'm from in New York State, not New York City, look on the map, please, because New York City is not the entire New York State. Plenty of Americans have the same problem. I hear people say, what is your name as what's your name? Whacher. What is your becomes Whacher. Rhymes with almost butcher. Butcher, no. What's your name? What's your name? I have heard occasionally was your name, but that really not so much in New York State, but I have heard it in other parts of the U.S., but where, I can't tell you off the top of my head. I have traveled to about there are 48 continental states, 46 of the 48 continental states, so I can't remember right now where I have heard that. So what is your name can be heard as what's your name, what's your name, or was your name. Said a little bit faster, almost would be pushed all together like, what's your name? What's your name? What is your name? What's your name? Got it? So if you're meeting someone for the first time in a business setting, normally the other person would volunteer their name to you, so you would not have to ask this question. If you did not hear their name, or you don't know if they said it, you could instead say, I'm sorry, I missed your name. So what is the difference between these two questions? What's your name could be considered a little bit rude sometimes, especially in business settings, because depending on the tone of our voice, it could be come out strange, like, what's your name? Something like that. That's what they would see in their mind, even if your facial expression wasn't really like that. So it's better to say, I missed your name. You could prefix that with, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I missed your name. This is like asking somebody, what is your name? But it's actually a statement with a full stop or a period at the end. What's your name has a question mark at the end. So the tone would go up. What's your name? I'm sorry, I missed your name. Tone is going down. But it's still a question, although many questions and requests in American English should be phrased as a question with a question mark at the end and the state and the tone going up. Not all, maybe 90% of the time. So I'm sorry, I missed your name. This is a common kind of question statement you can use when you're meeting someone for the first time in a face-to-face environment, if you're not sure if they said their name or not, or you couldn't hear it properly, like you're asking them to repeat. Very polite way of asking it. Also, you can use this on phone calls, on your virtual teams, if for some reason, like two people sound the same. This is very common. Usually people should use their group discussion skills, and like if there's another person on my team named Robert, after I finish, I should say, so Robert, what would you like to add today? Obviously, Robert would sound different than me, hopefully at the phone, since Robert is typically a guy's name, and a guy typically sounds different than a girl. But let's say my colleague was named Mary. Now, Mary, most of the time, is a girl's name. I don't think I've come across it as a guy's name. But I would say, let's say Mary and I could sound the same on the phone. If face to face, we know each other's voices and our colleagues would know us. But often on virtual teams over the phone, other people, like especially foreign counterparts or even people in our own country, sometimes they can't tell voices apart so easily over the phone. So it's always good to use your group discussion skills on calls. And so if Mary's my colleague, I would say, well, today we finished project ABC, and actually Mary was helping me with that project. So I'm going to actually let her mention, the conclusion to that project. So I've actually turned the conversation over to her. But in case I forgot to say Mary, or if I didn't say Mary, then Mary could say, oh yes, Mary here, and I'll be discussing blah, blah, blah. If both of us forgot to say Mary's name, then the person in the Indian team or in the virtual global team maybe didn't really understand that a new person has started talking, or that I have stopped talking and Mary has started talking if we sound the same. So they could say, oh, I'm sorry, I missed. Who was mentioning about that? That's the same as saying, I'm sorry, I missed your name. And if you're, you can be completely honest. It's okay. You can say, well, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure who was speaking, because I know Jennifer and Mary sound almost the same to us over the phone. I mean, it's just a nice small talk icebreaker. And I don't think anyone would get offended by that. It's just being honest. And most Americans would adjust to that and be completely fine with it. And maybe they would make a joke about themselves, maybe, oh yeah, people call Mary and me twins, that kind of stuff. People could make jokes just to lighten the mood for a minute and then get right back to the discussion of business. So this has been Jennifer Kumar. That's my name. If you're wondering what is your name, my name is Jennifer Kumar, and I'm the Managing Director of Authentic Journeys, a cross-cultural business training concern in Kochi, India. You can get in touch with us through authenticjourneys.info for more information. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please leave your comments or questions below on common small talk topics or questions you can ask when you're meeting someone for the first time. Have a good day. See you in the next video.